What's going on, fam? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray here with 44 Radio. And I got some very unfortunate news to report. There was a shooting in Louisville, Kentucky last night at the Black Lives Matter protest, peaceful protest, and somebody opened fire and one person was killed. Before I talk about that more, I want you to hit the subscribe button. Exactly, let me know what you not think, but hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell. The notification bell will allow you to know every time I drop a video, and usually I drop a video once a week. And also hit the luckymurray.com/support if you really feeling this, what you got to say. I got a lot of content going on, and I would love for you to support what I'm doing over here on the channel. But it was a peaceful protest last night, and somebody opened fire. It's very unfortunate news to report. It's sad to see so much hate that is in our country today, that somebody feel the need to open fire and shoot people who are peacefully protesting the murder of an innocent woman on the hands of the police. So I want to play the news report from CNN, and I'm going to come back and let you know exactly what I think about this.
Now to that deadly shooting in Louisville, Kentucky. Police now investigating after one person was shot dead at a Black Lives Matter rally yesterday. Demonstrators had gathered to protest the death of Breonna Taylor. Taylor, the black woman who was shot and killed by police in her own home in Louisville back in March. With that, let's bring in Laura McQuillan. She's been looking at the details for us this morning. So at this hour, Laura, what do we know?
Well, very few details coming out from police, Michael. They haven't said whether they've made an arrest or who they might be looking for, nor have they named the victim. As you mentioned, one man shot dead. We know another person was wounded in the shooting, and the gunman firing from a sidewalk into a park where demonstrators were protesting. We have some video from social media to show you, but I want to warn you, it may be disturbing. Take a look at this. The video showing, and we've given you a still image here, that gunman standing on the sidewalk there, and then you see people taking shelter. These people are not wounded, but they are lying on the ground, escaping the gunman as he fired more than a dozen shots into that park. Police on the scene, and you see tents around the park. That's because demonstrators had actually set up there. They'd been camping out after many protests in this same park in recent weeks, sparked by the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, but that had prompted a renewed look at the death of Breonna Taylor, as you mentioned, killed by police in her own home in March as they executed a no-knock search warrant. She was shot 8 times and died of her injuries there, and in recent weeks there has been mounting pressure from protesters, not just in the US, not just in Louisville, but really calls from around the world for justice in that case. Today, 107 days since Breonna Taylor was shot dead, and now new questions being asked about this latest shooting, another fatal shooting in that city, and not many answers coming out, Michael.
Where do things stand, though, in terms of any investigation into the officers in the original case? As we track what is happening right now with the shooting in the park, really this was a protest about what happened to Breonna Taylor as well.
That's right. So earlier in the week, you'll recall that one police officer was fired by the Louisville Police Department. Brett Hankerson is his name, and he is now appealing his termination, though the police chief of Louisville had said that he had committed extreme violations of police policies when he fired into Breonna Taylor's house some 10 rounds. Now,
So basically, it was very, very unfortunate news. You hear what's going on in Louisville. The officer that did shoot to kill Breonna Taylor was fired, but no criminal charges has been issued quite yet. The gunman was actually shooting on another sidewalk into the protesters. They have no word of who the gunmen were. They don't know exactly who he is. As of right now in this video, it may change throughout the day. It is extremely, extremely, extremely difficult and sad, to say the least, that our country is in the state that it is as far as just racial tension. We're in 2020, and you would think that the civil rights movement started off in the 60s. Dr. Martin Luther King was in the 60s doing civil rights reform, and to think that almost 50 years later, it's probably 50 years later, I'm not quite sure, I think it is about 50 years or more or less, we're still struggling with the same issues. We've gotten a lot better, but in some ways we've gotten worse. So I want to read a scripture real quick, man, to really tie home what I want to say. Second Chronicles 7:14. It says, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land." I think that America has lost its values as far as what its true values are, and a lot of people may not agree with me. That is okay, but I know where my faith lies, and I know that that we can't continue to do this. This is insanity. Doing the different things, it's the same thing, and expecting different results. I think that our country needs to humble itself and just return from our wicked ways, man. If not the country, a lot of these so-called Christians who say that they believe in a way, but they have so much hatred in their heart. The Bible speaks about how can you hate your brother and sisters, but love me. Me's talking about God. So I am appalled. I'm very sad. I'm very heartbroken that these things continue to happen. I know that God is working, but sometimes it's definitely hard to see how he's working and when he's working. But I know that nothing's in vain, and I know that everything is going to come to a head. But I'm very curious what you got to think about the Louisville story, man. Comment in the comment section below. Let me know exactly what you think. And also, man, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and also go to Lucky Murray/support. If you're feeling everything I'm doing, if you're watching everything I'm doing, and you want to support me, blow this thing out the water, man, go to luckymurray.com/support. I got a community that I'm building over there, man. Just the content I create a lot of content, and I need you and your help, man. I would love to have you over there so we can continue this conversation. Again, it's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, and please don't forget all three. Lucky Murray back with another news report, sad, shocking news report in Louisville, Kentucky, that somebody has lost their life due to a protest shooting that happened, I believe, last night. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. But until next time, people.